The year is 2026, and World of Warcraft, a game that launched in the year of 2004, is still going strong today with many new updates, weekly patches, and content drops. Most notably, the new chapter Midnight, which launched earlier in the winter of this year. And while some people reject or denounce current retail WoW, I still enjoy it and play it quite often from its classic counterpart. And no, I don't want you to assume that I'm telling you to play retail instead of classic. I just wanted to experience WoW in its current state from the eyes of a new player. So as we begin, you will notice that there's an overwhelming amount of races to pick from, as well as class types, which the game doesn't really give you much description on besides a few cliff notes. So I ended up going with the Night Elf, with my class selection being a Warlock, only because I think that they are cool. Just gonna randomize my name, and there we have it. So we begin the adventure and legend of Ashanor.
After years of imprisonment within the Emerald Nightmare, Archdruid Malfurion Stormrage has finally returned to the mortal world. Reunited with his love, Tyrande Whisperwind, Malfurion endeavors now to heal the corrupted world tree Teldrassil and rejuvenate the spirit of the Night Elf people. Yet as the great cataclysm shakes the boughs of their colossal tree, the Night Elves brace themselves against the coming storm. As war and destruction close in from all sides, it falls to Night Elves like you to stand strong and protect the enduring legacy of your people.
And just like that, we're in. For new players, Teldrassil is actually a perfect zone to start in. Maybe only beaten out by the human starting zone, but the game makes it extremely easy for you before you can even move with your character. As you see, there's a quest marker right in front of your face to guide you for your early leveling experience while you get used to how questing and exploring works. And your first quest is actually self-explanatory. Teldrassil's saber-tooth population is growing too fast, and you need to slay 6 of them to keep nature in harmony. Honestly, this is a perfect for a first quest. You will also notice that your quests are marked with territories on your map, which is the complete opposite experience that you will face in Classic. So I think this is a giant plus for the casual player who just wants to play the game and enjoy the time that they have. And finally, I reached and slayed my last Night Saber, in convincing fashion. You will also notice that mana doesn't drain nearly as much from each spell that you cast, which can't be said about Classic, which requires you to carry around food and drinks to restore it in between fights. And just like that, I have completed my first quest, alongside obtaining 55 copper coin, a new set of braces, and 250 experience for my troubles, as well as reaching level 2 and earning my first new spell, Corruption. Now, if this were Classic, I think I'd have to do another quest or two just to reach level 2. So if you don't have much time, I think this would work well for you. And my next adventure takes me to collect fell moss from the Grecklands. And as I return back with my completed quest of collecting the fell moss, I'm rewarded and received a new pair of gloves. And what's that? I'm already level 3. This is going quicker than I expected. It seems like the game is fast tracking me through these low level zones, which doesn't leave too much time to explore. And while this could be overwhelming for some new players with the rapid leveling and earning abilities very quick, I can also see a world where this may be satisfying for some players, triggering hits of dopamine. And while I'm here, I might as well take on another quest to continue my adventure through Teldrassil. And as I continue, my next quest tasks me with collecting Melithar's stolen bags. Okay, that is 2 fetch quests back to back. Now I'm wondering if this is going to continue in a pattern. But regardless, a quest is a quest, and I need all the experience I can get to level up. And to be honest, I haven't faced much challenge yet. Everything seems to be super easy for the new player, and linear, which is completely different from the classic counterpart. And I'm not sure if it was because I was too focused or not focused at all, because I never noticed. I gained another ability. So I clicked on it, and look at that, I'm able to summon an imp. They function as the warlock's pet. Think of it as a hunter with their pet. It functions the same, but of course they have different abilities and spells that they can cast. This will help you and your early leveling experience tenfold. And now that I have my own pet imp, I feel unstoppable, like I could take on the world. But yet again, I am being tested with another fetch quest. A quest to speak to Dementia Silverglade and fetch her 7 moon petal lilies. Okay, now I know for a fact that the pattern is definitely forming. That is now 3 back-to-back-to-back fetch quests. And this one feels like a slap in the face more than the others. I mean, just look! The lilies are right in front of her. You can call it a lazy NPC or lazy quest objectives. I was expecting something different at this point. Which is weird, I just unlocked my imp and I haven't been able to use them at all. Let's just collect these lily pads and see if there's any action on the horizon for us. And after collecting the 7 lilies for Dentaria, I am being tasked with seeking out the dryad known as Tarandrella, who should be residing within the Shadowthread Cave up north of my map. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're gonna get a change of scenery, a cave of all things. This could lead to something interesting in terms of gameplay that I've just been salivating for up to this point. And, to make things even better, I just hit level 4 and unlocked my next ability. Now, I'm oozing with confidence as I approach this cave, regardless of what resides inside of it. And, as I approach the cave, the NPC that's supposed to guide me on this quest isn't even there. It's only after a few seconds she falls into our world. But before I can even talk to her, she runs off without me and disappears again. It's another few seconds again of waiting before she spawns in and finally allows me to talk with her about the quest that we have upcoming very shortly. And as I read over the quest dialogue, I am now thrilled to see I finally get to get into some combat now that I have my imp by my side. I need to slay 12 webwood spiders amongst the cave. This is an early warning for anyone who suffers from arachnophobia. You have been warned. And as I approach my first target, it looks like someone beat me to it. But not so fast. In Retail WoW, as long as you deal damage to an enemy, regardless of how they die, you get the XP and the kill for your quest objective. In Classic, on the other hand, you would actually have to be in a group together for this to work. Because in Classic, it typically goes to whoever lands the first blow to the enemy that gets the XP and their quest objective if you're not in a group or a party. Now that is a giant plus for Retail, since you don't have to wait around for the next mob to spawn. So me and this fellow adventurer team up and actually clear the cave with ease, giving me no trouble at all for me and my new pet imp. And as I continue to slay the last spider needed for my quest and speak to Tarandrella to complete it, I had a choice of daggers or a staff. I ended up going with the staff as it fits my hero identity in my mind. And now, I am tested with killing the cave boss, Guthius the Vile, the giant spider leader of this cave. Although my fellow adventurer pal disappeared somewhere else to the cave, I think it's fair to say I handled this pesky spider with ease. He didn't even come close to me. And, with Guthius the Vile slayed, and before it even began, I realized I am now level 5. What can I say? I'm moving up in the world. As Tarandrella teleported me out of the cave back to Dentaria, I decided now is a better time than ever to equip my new gear, my staff and my cloak, increasing both my health and armor. And now, as I part ways and say goodbye to Dentaria, I now take my adventures away from the starting area that I've spent the past 20 minutes in. And, as I progress forward with my adventures, I realize that my next objective is quite a bit away from me. And since I don't just have a mount just yet, it's going to take some time for me to get there. So I'll save you the trouble, and I'll see you very soon. And as I approach completing my quest, I'm supposed to talk to Innkeeper Keldemir, who also serves as a vendor, but most importantly, serves as a Hearthstone placement, which means I could teleport here off a cooldown whenever it is active. This is a perfect place for any new player, since it is in fact the first one that you will encounter in Tendrasil. And, for the first time, the origins of my first questline have come to an end. But no worries, now you have the complete freedom of what you want to do next. In fact, you can pick and choose what quests you want to do around the map. The world is really your oyster, whether it's exploration on your mind, or just more quests to continue leveling. But alas, I'm gonna continue questing and laying the foundation of the legend that is Ashnor. And for my first original quest, not tethered to my first quest line, I am tasked with filling a Jade vial and returning it to an NPC in need. This quest from the start seemed very easy, but you will soon experience that sometimes things don't work out exactly how you planned. And finally, after a 5-minute walk that was well over 2,000 yards, I finally reached my destination. But as I arrived, I started to look around, and I realized there was no one I could talk to complete my quest. I was confused. In fact, I was stumped. I stood here for a couple of minutes thinking the NPC would spawn, but nothing. I was lost in an enormous world. So I took my experiences to Google and looked up what could be the problem. And as a matter of fact, I found out that this specific quest is bugged for a lot of people. You're actually not able to progress with this quest. So in reality, I wasted a bunch of my time. And this obviously could be annoying or stressful for a lot of new players. So I ended up cutting my losses and cut the loose ends, and ended up abandoning this quest in search for new adventures. This, of course, was definitely a bummer. In fact, I wonder how many people spent hours or even days trying to figure this out, just for no progress. In the end, we could chalk this up to a buggy quest line and Blizzard not fixing this quest. What a shame. And, on that note, I decided it was time to log off and do some more research. With all that being said, I hope this video was helpful to a lot of you. I really enjoyed making it. If you did like this content, please support me by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing if you think I earned it. Also, I stream on Twitch. That I'll leave in the description and the comment section below. And of course, the series of The Legend of Ashnor will continue. But until then, my name is Aaron, and I can't wait to get lost with you again in the future. I'll see you later.